While Easy Pogo focuses on the basics, Medium Pogo lets you work on speed and precision. The skills you learn here are super useful and applicable to games, not to mention just being really fun. Medium Pogo was my favorite course for a while. The feeling of gliding over the ground at high speeds just can't be matched. The first jump in Medium Pogo requires you to get a fast, low start off the wall, so you can go straight into a speed pogo. Make sure you're going as low and as fast as possible, so your first pogo rocket can send you far enough and high enough to keep going onto the second platform. From there, you can pogo to the wall and beat the jump. The drop in Jump 2 is too far for you to start pogoing off the ground, so you need to start with a catching rocket on the wall first. With good aim and timing, you can break the fall enough for you to pogo on the ground and climb up to the other side. In Jump 3, like in the first jump, you'll need to get some speed to be able to slide up the ramp. Your rocket just before the ramp can be optimized for speed, since you don't need to get height that you'd normally use to give yourself time to shoot another rocket. After the ramp slide, you can aim your catching rocket. If you're going fast and far, you can aim pretty far up and you can shoot pretty early. If you're not going so fast and you're barely making it on, you can aim it fairly low, since you're going fast enough and high enough that you don't need very much height from that rocket, and you don't need much speed either. Jumps 2 and 3 generally don't give people too much trouble, but Jump 4 isn't so kind. In addition to requiring greater consistency with ground pogo to wall climb transitions, you need to learn wall climb dismounts back to ground pogos. The darker lines indicate where the platform behind you will be. Depending on how fast you're rising, you may want to dismount a little higher or a little lower. Sometimes it helps to wait to shoot a rocket too. The delay can control runaway vertical momentum. For the first rocket on the ground after the dismount, you can also vary timing and aim to compensate for your height above the platform and momentum. Jump 5 features a staircase. Using one rocket per step will gradually catch your fall. Strafe around or tap S to prevent you from flying over a step that you want to pogo on. The sixth jump has you speed pogoing into ramps to gain height. You can't shoot off the ramps, but if you get good speed before them, it's not a problem. It's worth noting that you can shoot through the ramps onto the ground, so you can slide at the bottom of the ramp, shoot it, and fly way too high into the ceiling. If you shoot before you start sliding on a ramp though, you can get a nice burst of speed that can propel you forwards and off the ramp. Now let's think about the rocket that you use to catch yourself. Depending on how high and fast you are, you'll want to vary where you shoot your rocket. Be careful that you don't shoot early and pop up too high, or shoot late and miss an opportunity to catch yourself. It's worth noting that if you stop on a ramp, you can jump off and start pogoing again, potentially saving an attempt if you loop around. For Jump 7, you want to control your speed pogo so you shoot off each platform once. I aim a bit behind myself with my first rocket to get a burst of speed. Stock users will want to shoot to their right for the same effect. Jump 8 looks intimidating with some strange strafes, but don't let it fool you. You don't actually need to strafe all the way in for your rocket to have enough power to carry you up and forwards. Small strafes are sufficient, and strafing after the rocket to get you back on track is much more potent than strafing into the platforms that you're pogoing off of. There's a couple of skips in Jump 9 to break up the pogos. With a strong first rocket that ideally just grazes over the first platform, you can carry yourself over to the next platform, or even all the way to the end of the jump. This 10th jump is a difficult challenge, but with some practice and a little trial and error, it's still manageable. You'll want to use the long platform to get speed. 4 or 5 rockets tend to do the trick, as long as you're going fast at the end. Ideally, you'll be close to the end of the platform when you shoot your last rocket. Try to aim it extra far in front to pop yourself up over the gap. Kinda like Easy Pogo 12, but of course the gap here is a lot bigger. Depending on where you are and how fast you're going, you may be able to fire a rocket while mid-air before you reach the wall. If you can, do it. It'll let you reload your next rocket sooner, which can help catch you. Once you've attached yourself to the wall, It's just about completing the wall climb. If you're stationary or moving slowly downwards, but still keeping the wall pogo going, try to slowly and subtly adjust your aim upwards to catch yourself. Careful that you don't adjust it too fast or too early, and you'll pop yourself off the wall. There's a couple of ways to approach 11. You can go fast and shoot a couple of wall shots, or you can do a horizontal wall pogo. Each method teaches you a different thing, and learning both ways will keep you well-rounded. To do wall shots, get speed with your first 2 rockets. Be careful that your second rocket doesn't launch you up too high or send you too low. When you're on the wall, you want to be very careful about where you aim and time your wall shots to keep your height stable. If you shoot too quickly or aim to optimize too much for height, you'll end up in a tricky situation when it's time to pogo again. It's possible to shoot off the back wall at the end, so you can save the jump if you go too high, but you shouldn't learn to rely on that. You're not practicing control, and you're hoping that the spacing works out for that attempt. If, however, you're doing a wall pogo, you'll want to carefully control your speed and height. To adjust your speed, you can change the angle that you face the wall at, and you can tap your arrow keys. To adjust height, you can change up rocket timing, aim a tad bit higher or lower, or shoot a rocket that's off-center so it doesn't send you up as much. Keep in mind that vertical momentum can only be adjusted slowly. One notable exception is that if you pause for a split second before shooting, you can quickly go from rising up fast to staying level or declining. If you're slowly moving down, however, it's very difficult to catch yourself and prevent from falling off, so try not to move downwards until at the very end of the wall pogo. If you get too high at the end of the wall pogo, it's extremely hard to climb downwards, which is known as down pogo, so you'll want to avoid that if at all possible. If you've made it this far, there's only one jump to go. With a powerful first rocket that sets you up for a skip, you'll be able to do a sync pogo catch, which can transition into a wall pogo. For the skip to set up well into the sync, you'll want to send yourself fast and low into the skip platform, and shoot it early as you pass over it. When you're aiming the pre-fire for the catch, you might want to aim a little closer than where you'll land, so that rocket partially cushions your fall. If you aim exactly where you're going to land, not only will the rocket likely not have enough time to reach there before you do, it'll also land in front of you, killing your speed and messing up your next rocket. Remember, you don't want to aim where you're going to land, you want to aim so that before you land, it hits under you. There's a lot going for you here though. The wall's right there for you to climb if your sync is powerful, and there's a step down kinda like in Jump 5 for you to catch yourself if your sync isn't so powerful. Let me know of anything else that I should add or comment on. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.